It's United Sessions, Season 3, Episode 8. I'm Lucas Cash.
Hey, I'm David Weesey-Carl. Hello, everybody. We are excited to be joined by a few people we know pretty well, and I think you know pretty well. Mr. RJ Montaño.
Hello, RJ.
Hello, guys.
Mr. Carlos Sombrero Lad Tenorio.
Hello. Hi, RJ.
Are we messing up his branding? I know we give him a hard time and we call him Sombrero Lad. I know he's got a
Well, he was Sombrero Child until recently, so we're going to...
Lad he's got a brand to maintain.
Sombrero Man.
Since he was a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
He's been a Sombrero Man.
Since he's been 16, I've been trying to offer him a beer. Funny story about that. He hasn't ever accepted, and it only happened the first time, but fun story.
Hello, FBI.
Yeah. First time I met Carlos Tenorio, I thought he was a 35-year-old man. He's 16 at the time. So I offered him a beer.
15.
15.
It was 15.
I offered him a beer, and he correctly declined and said, "I'm 15," but in a much deeper voice.
Can I interest you in annuity options, sir?
Some Mountain
we
Dew
have a
thrashed apple.
timeshare for you. United Session Season 3, Episode 8. We are talking to supporters today. Excited to welcome in two people in leadership of some of our supporters groups. Carlos Tenorio, president of the Curse. RJ Montaño of the Galactic Ambassadors.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Do you guys have titles in the Galactic Ambassadors?
Yes, we
Not
are.
ones that they can say on air.
Not ones that they can say on air. But we are co.
Something or other.
Yeah.
It's one that I thought about putting in the little teaser on Twitter. I was like, I don't think I can do
we
that.
can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-people.
We cohabitate the leadership. So
Yeah, ambassador to
We're
the best of your
ambassadors, yeah.
abilities.
There you go.
Yeah.
So excited to welcome you guys in. Thank you guys for being here. RJ, we've been on a podcast or two together.
yeah,
It's been a minute.
podcast, a radio show.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of airtime together.
Yeah, and we brought this guy. You've been on the pod before. You were on one of the early Curse casts, weren't you, Carlos?
I was actually never on the Curse cast,
Oh,
but I
no.
was on
United Weekly.
United Weekly.
There it
Nice.
He filled in for you one
I
day.
filled in.
That's
for
what
you.
it was. Yes. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And
Jake filled in one time, right? On
Lucas
United
has
Weekly.
filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been around the United Weekly block.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Well, so we brought in a couple supporters leaders to talk about the upcoming season, excitement on the upcoming season, what the individual supporters groups are looking to accomplish this year. And again, as always, we'll play a stupid, silly game at the end.
Of course,
As we
of
always do,
course.
that
and
Lucas has
it's-
designed.
Yeah, it's especially stupid, especially silly. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Let's jump into it right away. You guys have been around from that day one that we always talk about, right? Before we ever kicked the first ball, you guys were there. You were instrumental in putting together, next to this gentleman right here, a supporters culture. How do you guys define that? RJ, let's start with you.
And Andrew Bolte. Let's not forget Andrew.
Oh, no,
Andrew,
I'm so
Biggest
sorry,
part
Andrew.
of that as well. It's exciting because we're able to create our own thing. We're able to create something very uniquely New Mexican. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden we had this kind of platform. And luckily we were able to do something great with it. And I think you can still see generations later, just 6 years, 5 years later.
That's like 12 generations
It
in
is.
supporters.
It feels. In
Yeah.
soccer, in football, it feels like forever ago. But to see that kind of manifest into something great and all the stuff that we see going on in the community, not just in the community of soccer, but the actual New Mexico community is I don't know, something we could never have dreamed of.
Well, and it's led to growth, right? Not just deeper, but wider too, right? The existence of the Curse is the first supporters group. Without that, we probably don't get to a place where there are Galactic Ambassadors, right? And a lot of you guys who originally started in the Curse, right? You, Jake, Savannah, Susie, you guys were originally some of the first members of the Curse.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just Galactic Ambassadors, but there's Maldiciones,
Black
Black
Diamond,
Diamonds,
yeah,
there's,
absolutely.
Sector 114, and Set Piece. There's so many different groups.
I think we're up to 8 supporters
And,
groups.
and what's really neat
fantastic.
is we were able to bring people together. We created a space for them to feel comfortable, to be themselves. We created an area where they were comfortable enough to grow into their own sectors as well, their own groups, and they found their people. They found our people. We're all one kind of family of supporters, but we do have, just like any other family, you have your favorite uncles and your favorite aunts and cousins, and you kind of go with them and hang out with them, and that's what we've created. We created a space to where we have that community.
Who's the drunk uncle?
Probably me.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, Dave, one of the things I loved that you guys established from the outgo, that's not correct, but from the onset, was the only thing that won't be accepted is non-acceptance, or the only thing that won't be tolerated is not tolerating
Yeah,
other
it's
people.
intolerance, yeah.
Yeah. And so how is that manifested now 5 years later, right? We started with that as our bedrock. What does that look like today?
Sure. Yeah. No, it's a great question.
Yeah, I believe that's still running strong right now. You can see in all of the groups, hate doesn't have a place in not just soccer in New Mexico. In any of our cultures here, there is no room for hate. There is no room for not accepting people. There's no room for making someone feel uncomfortable for who they are. So I think that it's growing, it's building, and I love seeing that Carlos is now the president of the Curse, that it's continuing, and I have complete faith that it's as kind of the supporters group that kind of started it all, the bigger one, essentially. Supporters group, so much faith and so much excitement to see that Carlos and the board that they have now are going to continue with that and build and grow, and we know for sure that for years to come there's going to be this mantra of acceptance and love.
Yeah, Lindsay Allen in the chat says, where are the other supporters groups? We only had 2 microphones, Lindsay. Excited to get these 2 on, and hope to have other supporters groups representatives on at other times.
Absolutely.
Excited to have these 2 guys on tonight. And like I said, happy to have others on at other times. But like I said, only 2 microphones. Carlos, again, you are recently inducted as president of the Curse. Congratulations on that.
Like a month in.
Yeah. Early going. How's it going so far?
It's going good. We got an amazing board this year. We got some new returning people, and we got a lot of new faces, a lot of younger faces, a lot of Lobos, one Aggie. We all give him a little rouse. That's my vice president, Billy, our lone Aggie. We got Chantal, who's a Lobo for a UNM graduate. Sean could just come on. He's our new treasurer. He's an accountant, actually works for the Albuquerque Journal now.
Nice.
UNM student as well. Stacy does a lot of community outreach. She's returning from last year. Joss Jesus, they're really taking the lead on membership engagement, doing a phenomenal job already planning Pride on the pitch. We're very excited about that. Jess Music, she's our new secretary. So we got a lot of new members on the board, but people that have been Curse members for years. And it's a really good, diverse board this year. And I'm very excited. We've done a lot of good work already. We're meeting tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. We got some cool stuff planned this year. I've talked with Galactic Ambassadors, and we got some cool stuff that we're thinking about doing too with each other.
That's
and
great.
Teaming up with other supporters groups and getting ready for that April home match.
And that's the big thing, right? You mentioned it earlier, RJ. It's, there are, again, I think 8 supporters groups at this point, but it's a collective effort, right? It's not just the Curse. It's not just Galactic Ambassadors. It's Sector 114. It's Black Diamonds. It's La Maldiciones, Los Cursitos. We haven't talked about it all yet.
Yep.
We can talk about them a little bit later. It's all the Set Piece Ultras. It's the 7K Ultras. It's all these different organizations, and they're all so wonderful in their own individual ways, which I think is the cool part, right? Everybody's pulling in the same direction. Everybody is supporting the club and supporting the community, but they all do it in their unique different ways. Black Diamonds, we just partnered with them 2 weeks ago to do this really incredible Black History Month clinic. It was so much fun. Out before the preseason match at Mesa del Sol over at the First Financial Credit Union Training Center. Insert corporate plug here. But we had a great time out there, and we worked collaboratively, and the leadership, Chris in particular, but Nicole and Mike, and like they just had these awesome ideas, and we were able to put together this really awesome thing that was both teaching the game, which is awesome, and you know, David Estrada is incredible at that, but it was also like teaching them about Black history. Salim Muhammad and David Estrada talking to these kids, and we were able to create these. Shout out to Eric Lovato on our creative staff, who made these player cards of all the Black players in our history and handed them out to kids, and then they were getting autographs on those things. It was the coolest thing. So you know, it's so crucial that these individual supporters groups are independent, but we can still collaborate together.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that
So
it's really
crucial.
neat that we, as supporters groups, different supporters groups, have this platform where we're able to work with the club, but still maintain our independence. from the
Crucial,
club.
right.
It's crucial to keep that independence, but having an opportunity to work with the club, we're not combating, we're not against each other. We want the same thing. We want a championship. We want to do our part on this in the stands that we can. We want to make sure that we're making a lot of effort to engage our communities. We want to make sure that we're working in our communities, offering these clinics like this. It is a fantastic way, and it's great to have that relationship to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree.
Dave, you mentioned the Cursitos. Again, I don't want to you know, infantilize you in any way.
Are you a
unnecessarily.
Cursito, Carlos?
I am indeed. David Estrada gave me his Cursito membership. Fun fact. So I am technically.
But all joking aside, you know, you come into the fray as a young man, right? As an adolescent, and you are surrounded by individuals that speak something to your soul, speak something to your heart. Like, there's a reason that you're the president right now, right? At 5 years removed from when this all started. Take me back to those early days, right? Like that original question that I proposed. What is supporters culture? What was it like to you in those formative years that led you to where you're at right now?
Well, I've told this story a few times, and it's just one of my favorite stories about when I met Peter for the first time in Troy. It was at a Isotopes, actually. It was a Mariachis game. And that's when Fresno had a AAA team, so they don't even have a AAA or a USL team anymore. So jokes on them. Besides the point, but you know, as a baseball fan, as you know, Oakland fan, having to share the stadium was a big concern to me, and so I went and talked with them and met Troy and met Peter, and they won me over right away, saying we need fans like you. Meeting David, meeting RJ at some of the first events that we had together, it was phenomenal. As this freshman in high school who one is trying to find himself at the time. And I found all these phenomenal people, you and the incredible front office staff here, former players that aren't here, like Cody Mizell, meeting him for the first time. Devin Sandoval, a guy from my childhood that I remember banging in goals for the Lobos back in the day. It was just a phenomenal feeling. And I think we all remember that amazing year one and sitting next to RJ on the way to Dick's Sporting Goods Park when we upset the Rapids and that amazing plane ride over to Minnesota with, I think we have there's an audio clip of our owner saying something, but I don't think we can play that over the air. But just that feeling around it, the feeling during COVID as well, we were all kind of shocked what happened.
Sure.
And the whole cliche, you know, dealing with the odds. Most teams that are brand new don't last, but we're stubborn. And so we make it our own, and it was fantastic. The camaraderie between everyone taking a caravan up to Colorado Springs, first time leaving the house for many people, going out of state for our first home match. Home match in quotation marks. But ever since the start, it's just continued to grow and grow and grow, and great momentum. And, you know, it's just great seeing people that I haven't seen. You know, 2021, people were still iffy. 2022, towards the end, it was great seeing former members of the Curse coming back, and, you know, seeing Galactic Ambassadors with their beautiful flag, which I love your logo, by the way. I think I've said that to you many times. And all, like you said, all the other supporters groups just growing. It's fantastic. You don't have to be part of the Curse. I would love for you to join the Curse and be part of us. But we're all here for the same thing, like RJ said. We're cheering for New Mexico and seeing how great it has grown. And as a young kid, you know, student at UNM, a lot of crazy ideas. But it's just the start, I feel like, and we talk about, you know, the future is with you and all that cliche. It really does start. And my generation is starting to finally, even though it may be scary to you that 2004 is now starting to get farther and farther away. But it's great to see, you know, my generation starting to do amazing things. It's not just me. I got some friends that are accomplishing great things with collegiate athletics, you know, studying, become lawyers and doctors. So it's just a good start, and I'm glad I can be at least a part of this young wave that's coming in.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't let y'all down. I don't think we will, though.
No, you absolutely won't. One of the things I want to, you kind of touched on a little bit there, Carlos, but one of the things I want to talk about too, we've talked about having all these different supporters groups and how great it is. One thing that I think is crucial for people to know, and I think most people know it, but everybody might not, and people tuning in right now might not know, you don't have to sit in a supporter section to be a supporter either.
Nope.
Oh, no, not at
RJ,
all.
you guys are upstairs.
Yeah, we're in section 201.
Yep.
We're upstairs. We have a nice little area there, and we have kind of our own ethos. We want to do good for the community, but we're also activists. So we are environmental, social justice activists, and that's kind of what brought us together. So yeah, we are up in section 201. There's section 114 has a supporter section.
Section 114, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to. And from the first year, we had Curse members who were
All
buying
over the stadium.
memberships,
Yep.
sitting
Yeah.
everywhere in the picnic pavilions, in the grass, and everywhere.
And
Doesn't
that's what I want to get at, right? If you want to be a Galactic Ambassador, you don't have to be in 201. If you want to be a member of Sector 114,
You don't have to sit
you
in
don't have
sector
to.
114.
I don't want to speak for them, but I'm fairly certain you don't have to sit in Section 114. If you want to be
to
a
mess up your hair later, bro.
Katie, tell me if I'm wrong. But if you want to be a Cursito, you don't have to be in 120. You know, you can sit wherever you want or stand. You can cheer however you want. You can, as long as it's not offensive, you can be the supporter you want to be in a lot of different supporters groups in a lot of different ways, I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
and that's what we wanted to build from day one.
You could buy in at your comfort level,
100%.
and then you can move from that comfort level when you're ready.
Like we said, we have so many supporters groups, and I think it fits to all our different personalities, and it's glorious. You know, Galactic Ambassadors may speak to you, the Curse may speak to you, Sector 114, Black Diamonds, whatever group you feel comfortable with going with. Again, I would love for you to be with us.
Sure.
But at the same time, go with who you want to be comfortable with. Go with the people that you feel comfortable with. And you don't, like you said, you don't have to sit in the supporter section. I think our whole end goal is to make, and I think we've all felt it a few times, the lab itself is just one huge supporter section.
Exactly.
We
That's
have
right.
seen times where, you know, it's good that UNM basketball's back. There's been times where it's like, man, this is louder than I remember the pit getting sometimes
Yeah.
in there. And it's phenomenal.
And there's not a roof on that one.
There's no roof.
Yeah.
And if there was, it would have been blown off a long time ago.
Well, seeing some stuff in the chat here. Love it. Monica Tenorio, I think you know her, says we are united together. Andrew Bolte, we all know him, says looking forward to seeing supporters group collaborations in
I love you,
2023.
Me too.
Me3.
Andrew.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Lindsay, I know you're mentioning again, we need more supporters' voices here. Again, we have 2 microphones. We are doing the best with the 2 microphones we have. Nettie is welcome to come on. We'd love to have him on. Again, all supporters we'd love to have everybody on, but we've got limited space, so we're doing our best.
Nettie is an absolute legend.
Nettie's wonderful.
I
love that
remember.
guy.
I remember
Oh
the
my
last
goodness.
watch party we did. I think we did it over at Main Event for the playoff game, and he was there. And I remember just walking up to him, and I was like, "Hey, man, can you go ahead and lead us in a little chant?" And just the excitement in his
Yeah,
eyes,
Nettie's
like,
incredible.
and I think that is like that spirit, that heart, that vibe that we're talking about, right? Like across the board, it doesn't matter what the banner that hangs over them is. There's just this feeling of like from the beginning again, and I give you guys a ton of credit for helping cultivate this, and I'm proud to be a part of it from the front office side. But there's just a breed of the New Mexican soccer fan that it brings a smile to your face. Their
100%.
passion, what they can do, how they'll get together for their drum practices, and everyone manifests that spirit in a different way. And I think that speaks to that whole art and sport part of our culture, right? Like we don't want to tell you what art to do. We just want you to do art.
Yeah. And whatever speaks to you individually, and the individuals will collectively make up the mosaic, and that's what really makes it great.
I happened to be at the rail yards yesterday after the UNM baseball game, just, you know, cruising, had a friend with me, an exchange student from England. So we were checking out weird parts of Albuquerque, and I passed by that beautiful mural on Cole, and Nettie is very prominent on it, and I love it. But all the other faces on it, you know, RJ, your face isn't on it, but your back is. But you know, it's
right.
I know who it
better-
is.
The better
They
side.
got
The
your
be-
good side.
they
I
got
was
your
gonna
good
say,
side.
dang it, he beat me to the joke.
But seeing all those collective faces make up that mural on that corner in downtown Albuquerque is just glorious, and it'll be there for generations. I hope generations and
Yeah.
generations
Absolutely.
of proud New Mexicans. And you know, maybe one day take my grandkids down there, and they won't believe that that's their grandfather up there, and they're happy to have that club that's, you know, beating Liverpool, which, you know, isn't hard to do this year. But
Wow.
unless you're Manchester
After we hang a
United,
touchdown on him. That's
unless you're
nice.
Manchester United.
Gold Monk Shields on YouTube says, looking forward to opening day. Need to make my way back for a game. Please do. Come on out. Hang out with us.
Yeah,
Join
we'd
a
love to
supporters
have you.
group. Pick your supporters group. Be a member of La Maldición. Have some fun. All right. Lucas is giving me the we need to take a break signal. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more United Sessions after this. Welcome back into United Session, Season 3, Episode 8. I am David Weesey Carl. I'm joined by Lucas Cass, RJ Montaño, and Carlos Tenorio, representatives of 2 of our 8 supporters groups here today. Excited to have you guys in. Thank you so much. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about your history with New Mexico Sports Beyond United. RJ, that is for you on the playing side a little bit. And Carlos, that's for you just kind of being an all New Mexico sports super fan. RJ, let's start with you. You were a Lobo baseball player, were you not?
Yeah, I walked on there. Had some fun when I was in college, way back in the day.
1889, if I remember right.
The brand new Mountain West Conference is barely a thing.
Yes, that's going to be the big one. I heard.
Yeah.
The big conference.
Yeah, it is. What do you mean it's going to be? It is the big.
That's because it was new. It's new as was.
Yeah.
Look out, Pac-12.
Yeah, look out, whack. But yeah, lifelong Lobo fan. Was a huge fan of the Albuquerque Dukes. Loved going to Dukes games, and just because of that, became an LA Dodger fan. You got to see them play here, and then
yeah, of course,
I got to see him play on TV, and I was
right.
like, "Holy crap!" I sat next to that guy. Or look, it's Eric Gagne, and he's just as drunk as he was here. So
Wow,
his weird goggles.
Yeah,
Gagne
but, like,
catching a stray.
I loved Gagne. No, he was one of my favorites.
What a
just
closer.
'cause, yeah, incredible. But just watching kind of those Albuquerque Dukes players become Dodgers and became a huge Dodger fan because of that. And was never a soccer fan until New Mexico United came around, which is kind of funny. But yeah, huge New Mexico fan though. I liked watching boxing, Johnny Tapia and Danny Romero and Bobby Foster. Never got to watch Bobby Foster, but just seeing the old tapes and knowing the history of kind of the New Mexico fighters and stuff like that. So
we're a scrappy bunch here.
Yeah, we are fighters.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carlos, you are a fan of anything with the words new in Mexico on
Correct.
In that order,
unless it ends with state.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless it ends with state, except UDA.
Where does that come from on your end? I mean, again, you are, before you were ever a United fan, before United existed, I think people knew you as a super fan of the Lobos, but talk a little bit about where does your sports fandom come from?
So, born and raised in Albuquerque. My family's been in New Mexico, at least my last name, since 1500s. But my family goes back centuries here, long before that. So, I'm tied to the land here, and I love New Mexico. Born in Albuquerque, so you're a Lobo fan, and everyone's a Lobo is what you're taught growing up, and
Woof, woof, woof.
ignore the people down south.
We love the Aggies too.
We do. I'm rooting for UDA. Go beat Park
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Yes,
I might
that's
go
gonna be
down to that
exciting.
match, by the way.
That sound. I hope it's on a Wednesday, which
Yeah,
kind of
it's the
sucks,
22nd.
but go down and support UDA. Anyways, but as a big Lobo fan going to games growing up, we had season tickets at the Pit during the great years under Steve Alford and that one weird year under Craig Nill. We won't talk about him.
Noodles.
Noodles.
Those guys are best friends now.
Yeah, they've always been best friends. They sabotage.
Yeah, Dave, they've always been best
Sorry.
friends.
Hand in hand.
It's just so weird to hear about the good old days and you say Alford. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
Alford.
say like that was like
Nope.
yesterday,
No,
right?
it's not.
Remember Bob King?
That's like a third of Carlos's life ago.
It's Steve Alford. Yeah, we had season tickets for UNM football growing up, and those weren't great times either until
Well, the thing is,
there were a few. There were 2 good years.
I mean, they
Arizona
made a
and-
few bowls, and it wasn't about the results, right?
It's about the
it was
memories,
so
Carlos.
much, and
What
some
if
of
the
my
real wins were the friends we made?
It was the
way?
friends we made along
There
the
you
way.
go.
It was amazing going to those games as a kid and just the environment at the Pit. Tony Snell, Kendall Williams, Hugh Greenwood,
The
all those
legends of
guys.
yesteryear.
The legends of my yesteryear. I saw Boss Jet at the Pit and I was so happy, and Snake just looked at me so weird. He was like, he wasn't that long ago.
Without context, Jet sentence made no sense.
Someone
just
decode
looked at me
that
weird.
word.
Snake looked at me weird.
I saw
But,
Jet.
I
Snake looked at me
saw,
weird.
I saw Boss Jet and Snake looked at me weird.
Yep.
Being an Isotopes fan, I now work for the Isotopes, which is fantastic, in the clubhouse under there, working for the Rockies organization, which is fantastic. It's such as a baseball fan, seeing the guys that, are coming up or guys that have played in the big leagues. I got to meet Jed Lowry this year.
Yeah.
My mom's from Oakland in the Bay Area. So naturally growing up, all grandpa and my uncles had on the TV were the A's highlights and Raider highlights. So Raider fan, A's fan, Warrior fan.
What a terrible child.
I was gonna say that's child abuse. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure.
it's been rough, one team's in Vegas, one team's in San Francisco, and one team's threatening to move to who knows where.
Sounds like that's happening.
Yeah.
going to Vegas.
Yeah, it's
You're just gonna be a Vegas sports fan now.
yeah, and one team in San Francisco and the Sharks, who knows what happens to them. But just sports in general. And I think the reason I love New Mexican sports so much is because until New Mexico United, we didn't have anybody. We had the Scorpions, and I remember going to a few Scorpion games. We have the Thunderbirds, but they relocated. So
And we've had some other games, but again, you're just, other teams.
Yeah.
You're just very young,
Right.
Yeah.
we had the Chili's, we had the Geckos. We've had other stuff. We had the Albuquerque Soul, which I'll be semi-pro Albuquerque FC, that kind of stuff.
I think Lucas, I think it was you that gave me for my 16th birthday an Albuquerque Soul jersey.
You're darn right I did.
I still have that, and I
Yeah.
cherish it with
Yeah.
so much love.
Andrew can actually point out the bona fides on that jersey. He knows better than I do.
Well, Andrew-
I just got it because Ron Patel just paid me in merchandise when I worked for the Soul.
yeah. I mean, Andrew is truly like the godfather of supporters culture in New Mexico. in my
with
opinion.
shadow of a doubt. Love that guy.
he was one of the OGs in the Sandinistas and still is.
Yep.
Another supporters group of New Mexico United, but started with the Soul. And they would go to every Soul match, and they would go to every Albuquerque FC match for the 1 year that they were around. And I remember I used to go to the Soul matches because I live over by St. Pius, and when they were playing at St. Pius, I would just walk across and go over there. And I was not in the Sandinistas. I was not in the kind of the little supporter section they had behind the goal. I would just sit up in the bleachers by myself and watch the games because I like soccer. That was pretty much it. And I would see it would vary depending upon the match. Sometimes 2-3 people, sometimes 10 people down there behind the goal and setting off smoke bombs and waving flags and banging drums. And I was like, what are they doing?
I was somewhat disconnected.
Well, I'd
and
seen supporters groups before.
Yeah.
When I was living in Philadelphia, they were the Sons of Ben with the Philadelphia Union. But I was like, what are these guys doing? And then I went down and I talked to, I think it was Tom Walsh. And I think you guys know Tom Walsh.
Tommy.
And that was the first time I met him down there. And I was like, what are you guys doing down here? He's like, just supporters group out here.
Chilling.
And he brought it up. I didn't bring it up. He brought it up. He's like, I know we're small, but it doesn't really matter. We're just out here having a good time supporting the team. And I love that.
No,
I mean, the Sandinistas were the OGs of it all. It's not the Curse who started it here.
Yeah.
The Sandinistas were the ones who started it.
Well, let me throw my Andrew love out there. I think one of the sweetest things he does amongst a litany of sweet things Andrew does for this world, but like every year on Roger, my youngest son's birthday, he loves to share a picture of Roger as like maybe a 2-year-old banging on one of those drums out there.
Love that.
And that was one of the coolest things about that whole culture is that it was open to everyone. Yeah, come bang a drum, come get loud. And I think like even those small efforts, like for those kids, like I don't know how much that fostered their love of the game.
Yeah, of course.
But I think to a degree, like
Isn't that the point?
exactly
is,
the
yeah.
community, like sports bigger than sports. This is an awkward transition, but Dave, you did a ton of work last week, and not just last week, but the weeks leading up to last week. And last Wednesday, we were able to come together for our
yes.
supporter summit.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I know you weren't able to make it.
Yeah, Galactic
RJ.
Ambassadors were not
Not
able to
feeling
go.
well, but that's okay.
We were all over the place.
That's all right. No
Th-
worries.
There were Galactic Ambassador duties.
That's right. It's important. But
Important galactic.
We're in space.
delegates.
Carlos, you were able to make it. What did you make of the summit? Talk a little bit about what you found out, and don't give away any of the stuff that Peter told anybody.
Nothing. No,
Yes.
no secondary Pete.
As
League.
Secondary Pete
As
Leagues.
soon as the KOAT cameras left,
that's
everything,
right.
all the gloves
That's
came
right.
off. Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, Black Diamonds was there.
Mhm.
I met a nice gentleman from Santa Fe who's a Curse member, and
He's one of the 7K Ultras
Yeah,
as well.
Is it Tom?
No.
Love Tom.
I actually don't remember this
Hope you're
guy's name.
listening,
but
Tom.
he was there.
fantastic gentleman.
Sector 114 was
Yeah.
there as well. Shout out Sector
And
114.
Wes and Katie and Ben and
Set
no,
Piece Ultras.
Billy
Yeah.
was there, and Lindsay, and some of our new board members. Brucey was there too. Which
Yeah,
was
Daniel Bruce
fantastic.
came by.
It was great to have
Is,
Brucey
is he
there.
a board member of one of the supporters?
No,
groups?
he just came. He just came because he wanted to check it out, which I thought was pretty
Wonderful.
cool.
It was fantastic.
Love it.
And just hearing, I went to last year's, and last year's this is Zach really talking about, who he is as a coach.
Sure.
And it was fantastic to see that. And I saw that a lot in his play style. But this year it was like, you already know who I am.
Mhm.
And this is why. And you had a phenomenal slide ready for Peter, and he kind of just
He
let-
just ignored it.
he just ignored it.
In true Pete
Uh,
fashion. He's like, all right, we're gonna need this, we're gonna need this, we're gonna need this. Put this together, have this photo here. It's like, all right, you got it, Pete. Got it all together. And he's like, I'm not gonna use any of that.
Screw-
No,
uh,
true Pete fashion.
it was great. Chanel talking about the Somos Unidos Foundation
Mhm.
and all that. And I know you and Chanel were a little bit under the weather as well. And
Yeah,
you
I had
guys
just
are
gotten
still
that
there?
COVID booster the day before. Yeah, so I was just tired.
He was boosted.
he was boosted.
Yeah.
And it was
Worth it.
It was great.
Go
And
get your booster shots, everybody.
And so next year when we have it, I hope we get more people, because it was a nice space. Shout out to NM.
NMA 11. Yeah,
did
thank you so
fantastic
much.
jobs. Good supporters of the U23 there. And it was great just to have an open forum to talk to Zach and Peter, and you taking questions for Peter for
The ones that I don't want Pete answering.
Yeah, and really seeing the process behind the Sunderland match, which
That was fun.
That
Yeah.
was fantastic, and I can't wait for that. And some stuff. Obviously, there was a few elephant in the room questions about facility. And,
Yeah, stadium and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
and
We
all
talked
that-
about it.
and
It's good.
and it was very open. There was nothing hidden, and it was fantastic. And I encourage everyone. I feel like you guys. It's easy to approach you guys to be. If you have questions, go ahead and
Don't approach me.
Never approach Lucas ever.
don't feed the wild, Lucas. But
no,
it was
I-
fantastic, and I love it. And I can't think of really any club that really does that. And a club may do it just to do it, but they don't listen to their supporters. And I feel like you guys do a phenomenal job listening to us.
I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. It's important, right? I mean, when I made the switch from Curse to front office, that was a difficult time. It was a difficult transition. But one of the things that I said to Pete that was really important to me, and he bought in right away, is instead of just going on as communications, I also want to go on as fan experience, because the supporter stuff is really important to me. And I think we, as a large group, I mean, just tons of us, countless people have put so much into building the supporters culture in New Mexico. I'm not going to name a single one of them because I would miss hundreds more, but there are so many people who have put the effort in and continue to put the effort in, whether they were there from the beginning of the Sandinistas or some other supporters group that I don't know about for the Geckos. Maybe it's probably there.
Yep.
To the people who just got on the board for the Curse, the people who are running any of the supporters groups now, or people who are members of the supporters groups. You don't have to be in leadership to make a difference. So that's one of the things that I really do love about the supporters culture we have here in New Mexico. A couple things from here in the chat. Andrew wanted to shout out. It's important here. They also support every U23 match. That is very important.
100%
It was great hanging out with Andrew and you at the U23 in Farmington. That was so much fun.
Tito Morales says, can we skip to April 15th already? I would love to do so, although I would not be prepared because my match notes aren't ready.
We're wildly underprepared.
But other than that sounds awesome. Chanel had a good thing here. I really like this. I think the tifo at the Lobo game is a sign of the beautiful synergy that's possible in New Mexico.
Yep.
I have a feeling you might have had a hand in that, Mr.
I have
Tenorio.
no idea. Yes, it was fantastic. And to shout out to the outgoing board that we had for the curse, and allowing us to do something like that. And it was great to get a few of our curse board members to do tifo for the first time, and new curse members that we've initiated through it all, and that are going to get their memberships this year and join us. It was fantastic. And it came from a love of, one, it's great to show it. And two, I'm going to be dead honest, and I know they'll probably end up finding me somewhere on Twitter, but the student section for San Diego State, no, not the greatest humans, complete opposite of our friends at San Diego Loyal, who we love dearly.
Yeah, they're great.
They're great. The locals are great. The show, not so much.
Yeah.
But they had done a tifo rather recently. And
the San Diego State fans.
The San Diego State fans, and they had unveiled it upside down.
Nailed it.
And I will have to send you guys the picture.
Is that like the flag in distress thing where you wave the flag upside down?
there
When you're in
we go.
trouble?
We give up.
tifo much? So it was also a little shot at them, but it was fantastic because we see colleges like GCU that has stuff like that.
Sure.
Colorado State at their last game had one, but
It's cool to see it leaking over.
It's fantastic.
I really like that a lot.
But one thing I love about ours more is that it was handmade. It was fan made. It was, if you looked at it,
Were the other ones printed?
they were all printed.
Oh,
and
that's a-
Hashtag
that's
painted,
a-
never printed.
Yeah, that's a Nashville type thing.
That's a
Jeez.
paddling.
Looking at
GCU,
you, Nashville.
GCU does it a lot, and Colorado State did it the last game. But seeing all the imperfections and being like, well,
The imperfections are what make it beautiful.
and no one notices except us, obviously. And so it was great, and we'll have that. We'll be able to pass it down to whoever is, takes over the student section there next year and touch it up. And it's not going to just be a one and done tifo. That tifo will emerge for who knows what, maybe a football game, maybe another basketball game, hopefully, maybe a baseball game.
Also, you know what the best part of tifo is? And for those who have not done this, the best part of tifo is making tifo.
That's right.
Is being there with your friends, meeting new people. I can't tell you how many people we met as a result of doing tifo.
Well, to a point RJ made earlier, like one of the most beautiful things is like the beauty of making mistakes along the way. Like to care about something enough to not worry about being perfect. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why tifo is like one of the most beautiful expressions, because
Good
it's like we have
representation of that.
we have a goal with what we want to do here. Oh, wait, we had this beautiful child that's a part of one of our supporters group's families who grabbed a bunch of paint and went hog wild on this thing. And now it doesn't look anything like we wanted it to, but it looks perfect in its own way.
Last year we had the Fresh Prince of Burke tifo.
Yeah.
And someone had splattered paint over it. And instead of being like, what, that can't happen, we're like, this actually looks really cool. This is perfect. So we started splattering paint everywhere for it.
Nice.
So it was great. And actually, Sean, this was actually the first time I've ever done this paint and tifo. We started it in South Lot. So UNM Pats, don't come at me. It was a Saturday. And Sean has a drone, who's our new treasurer. And he actually was able to fly his drone above the tifo.
Nice.
And help us trace it. It was fantastic to see it from above, and being able to do it at my mom's boyfriend Justin's shop. That was fantastic. And then finishing it in Sean's driveway on a Monday and letting it dry in the sun. It takes a while. Tifo takes a while, but I was beyond excited. And I think Chantal has a great video of me just so pumping my fist at the bottom of the student section because all the students bought into. And I was a little unsure because I feel like a lot of them had never done tifo before, and that's probably sure. But it went fantastic, and I love it. And I hope whoever's in charge of the student section next year gets to do that again. And it's fantastic. I love tifo.
Love it. RJ, what are the goals for the 2023 season for the Galactic Ambassadors?
What mistakes are we going to make?
Yeah.
While we build something beautiful.
Our biggest goal is to support, but we're also going to be watching you front office guys.
Hey.
Collaboration with the other supporters groups. It's great to have such a positive force with Carlos over at the Curse and all the other Curse board members. I think positivity is what we're looking at going into this upcoming season.
Love that.
Working together, collaboration, bringing that true Somos Unidos, mantra to fruition again.
Yeah.
Kind of getting back to a lot of that. So I'm excited
With everyone, with every supporters
with every
group.
supporters group.
That's right.
Yeah, not just these ones, but like, and not just the supporters groups, but
People.
Everyone.
fans, like not just you're in a group, but
Yeah, you don't have to be in a group.
Show up to
exactly.
the games every week and to see that buy-in and to see you excited for the matches is what we're excited about. But yeah, collaboration with all the SGs and looking to kind of do more good in the community. So what can we do for social justice, environmental justice causes? What can we do to make fun tifos to hang from up above? What can we do to just keep this moving?
Love it.
And Dave, going back to your days, like what I've seen from the supporters group culture more than anything else is they are an inspiration, a model for other individuals of like, how do we cheer? And so they look to the curse and they say, okay, here's the things we say, right? Or what do we wear? Or how do we behave? And I am just so excited. I'm not going to spoil anything that Jules has on the docket for in-stadium production this year. But she is going to go ham this year in terms of what Sombrero Man said earlier, turning the entire stadium into that supporter section feel. Because again, it's sometimes difficult. Oh, what words are they saying? That won't be a mystery so much moving forward. Like, what do we need to wear? How do we need to behave? And I just love what an agenda the supporters culture has set for everyone in the stadium.
I do like that we moved to section 201 because I did get old.
Weren't you briefly? You were briefly in 205
we were in
too,
205,
right? Okay,
yeah,
that's what I
and then
thought.
we moved over to 201. It was the weird COVID years,
Right,
when
right.
with tickets and spacing and stuff like that. So we're now in 201, but my favorite part is I can sit down and watch the game.
And here's the thing:
What's that like?
in year 1, year 2, you and I would have said, "We'll never sit."
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yep.
Now I sit every game because I'm up in the press box. But like standing for the whole match. So I went back and capoed a match last year, and at the end I was, my back was tight.
Yeah.
My back was tight.
I am out of shape.
Yeah, it's like I think I'm a sitting at matches kind of guy
Me
now.
too.
I never thought I
enjoy
would
it.
be.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Hung
Yeah.
up his megaphone after that.
I
match,
did.
walked
I
off
think
into
that
the
was
sunset.
my last capo, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Carlos, goals for the 2023 season for the Curse.
I think it'll echo kind of a bit what RJ says, that collaboration with supporters groups, and I think we can attest to kind of what you guys are doing, kind of mirror it, getting more back out into the community after this COVID pandemic. And yes, it's still out there. Yes, we still got to be precautious, but now we have the necessary tools to live with it.
Precautious.
Precaution is.
He made it sound so believable.
That was like
It's
that was
a-
like in
that's
Glass
one-
Onion.
That's one thing you
The
taught me, David.
The guy in Glass Onion who just makes up these
Precautious.
words. I'm sorry, Carlos.
President Bushism right
You were
there.
making a great point, and I interrupted. I apologize.
as RJ pointed out on
Can
my
you be a
post
little bit more
earlier today.
precautious with your interruptions,
Precautious.
please?
Sorry, I really shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry.
As RJ pointed out
please
on my
continue.
Facebook post earlier, words are hard. It's
are
not like I'm a
hard.
communications major or anything.
Back to what you're saying.
Yes.
Back out in the community.
Yeah, back out into the community more. There's a project that I would really love to do for Earth Day, so keep your eyes out, and
Great.
ears for
Love
that.
that.
And I love Earth Day so much.
Big fan of the Earth.
Big fan of
My
the Earth.
Top 5 planets, definitely.
Next to the moon. There's
That's
that
not a planet.
Royals
That's not a planet.
that Royals announcer
it
that was
just
like, I
keeps
love the
going.
planet Moon.
This is a
Jeep the moon if it was made of rail.
wonderful advertisement for UNM.
Everyone's a Lobo. And you can go
I
to the
went there
planet
too, so
Moon.
don't worry.
Everyone's a Lobo, no
Uh,
matter your GPA.
No matter.
No.
Another
we
another
love the
thing.
Lobos. We love the Lobos.
Another thing is, truly it's the membership of it all, and you don't have to be a member.
Mhm.
But if you really getting people to be members of supporters groups, like I said, I would love for you to be a member of us. We got some cool scarves coming out this year that was designed by Beverly Chernard, and
Nice.
a beautiful brand new Scully that's coming out.
Nice.
So go to our social medias and you'll see that Scully. Another thing is, being loud, rowdy as per usual, but also I think this is a huge part. Truly, it's the people of it all, and seeing and hearing people's ideas and critiques and chant ideas and do you want a capo? What do you think we should be doing? So hearing more and more feedback, I think is great. And you guys have my social medias. Feel free to rip me a new one if you think I'm doing something wrong. And feel free to to give me some comments. I'm okay with that. Hearing more.
You've only been
collaboration.
doing this for a month, man. Give yourself a break.
No,
No, but I'm telling people.
look,
I'm telling
he's being precautious.
I'm being
with his
precautious
media
as a
strategy.
future. But in the if you have ideas, and I was talking to I forgot the gentleman's name, but he's down in Hobbs, and he really wants to start a supporter section down in Hobbs.
Oh, I love that.
So getting that southern New Mexico, and really, I think
Tina's been getting stuff together in Cruces.
Las
She's
Cruces,
been doing, Tina McNeely,
she's
shout
been
out.
doing a fantastic job there in Las Cruces. We have Jesus down there who's on the board doing some great stuff in Cruces. So growing it to parts of New Mexico that, and I think the U23 is doing a great job helping it too, that doesn't have us there. So hearing collaboration, hearing ideas, if you want help or, get that supporters group in Hobbs rocking and rolling, I can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Chan ideas, feel free to come and tell me, if you want a capo, let's figure something out. Paul Nelson, I shout him out earlier. Mondo, he's our new Hype Spirit and Rowdiness chair, which I'm very excited about.
He's got the suit for it.
He got the suit for it. That's for sure. So, and getting people to, if you want to help out and volunteer, with one of the projects that we'll help with, or one of the projects that we'll do, come out and help and volunteer. It's about making positive impact on the pitch, in Isotopes Park, and just around New Mexico as well.
Great.
I can't wait. It's so exciting.
I just want to push this a little bit too, because Carlos is a little bit underselling it. But for Galactic Ambassadors, we don't have like a official membership or buy-in. But the Curse does. Yeah. And that's how they're able to do stuff. That's how they're able to buy TIFO, buy paint, buy supplies, buy tailgate stuff, buy the memberships and their merchandise. So I can't encourage you enough to, even if you don't want to be part of it or can't, sit in the supporters section. Please go get a membership if you can, and push that. I mean, that's what helps build that support. When you see the supporters section rowdy, and they have all these flags, and they have all this merchandise, and they have all this cool stuff, it helps build it across the stadium. Like you said, once we see the supporters section going wild, we're excited in 201. Your wife sits kind of close to us, and I can hear everything she says, by the way. Best supporter.
Everyone in the stadium can. It's the best.
But like she gets rowdy, and behind her gets rowdy, and just it feeds off of each other. So that's
I will say, Punzi is her own supporter section. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
It's the nation of Punz.
I love it.
Punz.
I will follow Punz.
But to their point that they're making, right? There's membership. You want to put money in, you want to be a part of the actual voting festivities and all of that. Yeah, there's a way for you can do that. But I think the most important thing is the fellowship. That's what you guys are talking about. The coming together with individuals, the having the common cause together, the having the, like, in a world where all we can do is disagree with each other for 90 minutes, we can come together and we can all be on the same page.
Love that. And one point I do want to make, that kind of back to something you said, Carlos, is whether they are, regardless of what supporters group they are, every single one of these supporters group leaders is a volunteer, and every single one who has been, the outgoing board who just left, all volunteers. Nobody gets paid a dime. Nobody. They're putting their heart and soul into this, their time, their effort, a lot of times their own financial resources into this, because they care about this community, because they care about the club, because they care about what the club stands for, because they care about the people that surround this club in this state. So if you've got ideas, I know Carlos said, rip him a new one. Don't rip him a new one. Come talk to him, right? Yeah. He's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. Same with RJ. Same with the outgoing board, the incoming board, everybody. They're doing this because they care, because they love this community. So come to them with ideas. Absolutely. We thrive on ideas. That's club and supporters. We need the ideas. But I would say, encourage you, come to them in a productive way, and in a way that's not accusatory or angry. Come to them in a way that's like, hey, I've got an idea to make this better. Let's do it.
Let's collaborate. Let's do something awesome together. What better way to reward these guys' amazing service to the community and the club than playing a stupid, silly game?
Silly game. We're going to take a quick commercial break without any commercials in it, and we will be right back with more United Sessions right after.
Episode 8, season 3 of United Sessions. And Dave, we have to start segment 3 with a little bit of a mea culpa from you, my friend.
Yeah, nothing I love more than apologizing publicly as the
It's one of his
communications
favorite
guy.
things.
It's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite thing
yeah.
to do. So last segment, you may recall, because it wasn't that long ago, that I interrupted Carlos's eloquent speech
It
to
was
say
a great speech, dude.
precautious is not a word. What are you even talking about? That's ridiculous.
Turns out.
Producer Linnea Romero over
Dang it,
here,
Linnea.
rightfully so, called me out on my BS here. Precautious, using precaution, displaying previous or provident caution or care.
You weren't precautious enough.
You weren't
before
precautious
you called him
enough.
enough.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Carlos, I apologize for my
Lack of precaution.
clearly my lack of precaution.
You weren't precautious enough.
because I didn't know it existed. That's really what it comes down to. So precautious is a word.
All
Just in case anybody was wondering, if you take away one thing from this episode,
precautious.
it's that precautious is a word. Also, Linnea Romero is the GOAT, according to Chanel. We see Carl.
She's not
Oh,
bad.
absolutely.
Not bad. Here's another 8 things you can take away, because we were joking beforehand.
This is the stupidest game we've done.
It's
Oh,
pretty
God.
bad. It's pretty bad. But we've kind of set the over under on 1.5 total
that you guys are going to get right
Oh, great.
out of 8.
out of
Nice.
8 questions. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, this is a studious young lad at the University of New Mexico.
He knew a word I didn't.
Yep.
He made up a word that was accidentally right. let's get that right. Let me put
That's
that
true.
right.
He didn't glass onion it.
What's it? That guy who like stumbles down the stairs and then he like perfectly picks it up. Like I meant to do that. It was like a meme that they
Oh,
had
I
for a
don't
long
remember.
time, like people stumbling but like dealing with it so perfectly. It was like they meant to do it.
Jane says we should put precautious in a chant. And Robert Romero says Linnea says Robert says Linnea is precocious, which I know that is a word.
Yes.
Black Diamond says learning things is cool. You're yes,
Yes.
that is correct.
That is correct.
And I learned some things today. So the game today is both of you have been presidents of the curse. One of you currently is. We got some trivia about presidents, U.S. presidents.
Oh,
Oh,
Carlos is
gosh.
going to win this game.
If I don't,
This-
I don't
this
think
guy
you guys are
knows-
going to get any of these
Let's
correct.
see.
Lucas made this way too difficult. So chat, the over under is 1.5 correct.
Go
In the
figure.
chat right now, say over under where you think you are, where you think this will
So
end up,
under
rather.
is they'll get at least
One.
one or 0,
Combined?
right?
yeah combined.
oh
Yes.
my goodness,
Under is 1 or
we got to
0.
team up together, RJ.
Let's do this.
Under is 1 or 0. Over is 2 or above.
Yes.
So over under in the chat. Put it where you think you're gonna go, Lucas.
If it's combined, I'm going to go with the over. Carlos is going to get this.
But
All right.
but write this
I
stuff in
believe
your
in him.
notebook. This is important for Jeopardy later. Very similar to precautious.
So far, we've only got overs.
Only
they believe
over.
in
Oh, they
you.
believe
There you
in
go,
you.
Yes.
Carlos. I
There
got
you go,
you.
RJ.
Over,
guys.
over.
All right,
Over.
Let's take some wind out of their sails and start with
My mother,
RJ.
my
You're gonna hear
mother,
this first one. And everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, under."
my mother puts under.
RJ, who was the first president to die in office?
Carlos?
That would be William.
Are you saying Carlos? No,
No, no. I'm,
Whoa,
no.
Oh,
Not a
no.
prediction. That was
Whoa.
not a
full timeout for New Mexico.
No,
I'm passing. I'm passing to
That
my
would
teammate
be
here.
Okay.
William Henry Harrison. He served 30 days. in
Oh my
office.
God!
gosh.
Also had the longest inauguration speech.
Let's
See,
go.
Yeah,
If
told
we
you.
had a
I
nerd
told you.
alert, if we
Yeah.
had a nerd alert,
Hold on. You know what we do have? Give me 1 second. Give me
Dead
1
in
second.
30 days.
Very good.
Well done.
Very good.
Well done.
Oh,
That was
man.
impressive.
Oh,
All right,
they
so
believe in Sombrero. Man
Elaine
now.
Briseño says over. Jane Lilly says over. Robert Romero says over. I have faith. Monica Tenorio says over. Goldmonk Shields over. Suzanne Gordon over. Everybody says over.
I
And
just
you're
didn't know they
proving
got
them
to,
right.
I didn't know they got to share.
Yeah, let's go with it.
All right,
Fine.
that's fine.
That means you're not going to have like a winner per se, but if
What-
they get over 2,
Maybe this is the opportunity for Sombrero Man to put on a bit of a show.
He's
for
going to put on a
people.
clinic.
Yeah,
One
that's what
nil
I'm
to the
saying.
telling
Arsenal.
you right now.
One
Is he
nil
gonna,
to
is he gonna
the-
run the table?
He's-
no,
Get
he's not
all
getting all 8.
8?
Listen,
Absolutely
listen,
not.
Question 2.
I absolutely not getting all 8. Absolutely not. Sombrero Man is like Doogie MD. You don't know who that is, Carlos.
Doogie Howser.
Okay.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Hey, there you go. This guy.
He's from Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, baby.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Number 2. Which president banned alcohol from the White House at the behest of his first lady? Got him.
Yep.
You're not running the table, bud.
Not running the table. Sorry.
You got a 1 in what 48 chance.
40,
46.
40, It's actually it's only 45 because there's one that served a
Oh.
non-consecutive.
You should have been more precautious before. you
Sorry,
said that
my
number.
bad. Way more
Um,
precautious. Chanel says, I call Sombrero Man for trivia night. And Brendan said, I think Carlos needs to join your trivia team, David. There you go.
Well, oh my goodness, this one it sounds like something that Warren G. Harding's wife would have done, but it also sounds like something that would have been done earlier. But I'm going to go with Harding.
Incorrect.
Starts with H.A. Rutherford B. Hayes.
Oh, Hayes.
Rutherford B.
Yeah,
Hayes.
Rutherford B. Hayes didn't have many nice things to say about New Mexico, so we don't talk about.
Oh,
him.
then he can
okay.
screw right off.
You can get right out of here.
Well, you've already got more than I thought you would have at this point. So question 3.
RJ, which president survived an assassination attempt 69 days into his term?
Pass. You know this one, Carlos.
69 days into his term.
Nice.
There it is.
There it
I was
is.
waiting for someone to do it. Was waiting for it. There it is.
There's been a few,
Sorry, children. Have your parents explain it to you.
No, don't. Don't do that.
I don't think it would be Andrew Jackson.
You don't look at me for like a
I don't-
reaction to your guess
I don't think it would
here.
be Andrew Jackson. Was the first president to have an assassination attempt made on him.
Okay, nerd.
I don't.
Nerd alert.
Is it Ronald Reagan? the
Yeah,
actor?
it is Ronald Reagan.
You got to let him answer
No,
first, but you're
no,
correct.
It's Ronald Reagan.
Over.
Because
actor.
if you do it that way, if you don't do that, then he can just do this over and over again. Where he's like, well, I don't know if it's.
we got to have a little
Nah.
psychological work.
Well, no, you got to wait for him to say final answer.
That's my fault.
So 2 out of 3. Get your stuff
I
together.
should have been more
Yes, we
Three
got
more
the-
precautious.
We got the over,
Yeah,
RJ.
the over's done. You got the over.
Robert Romero got that one right. He said Reagan. Yeah, Black Diamonds. Yes, Lucas is giving the game away. Come on,
my
Lucas.
fault, guys.
That's right.
I'll try and be better.
All right.
You.
Number 4. Which president purchased the land that's now southern Arizona and part of southern New Mexico?
That would be the Gadsden Purchase, and it would be
That's
around
correct.
1910.
That's correct. Can you name the
So,
president?
Around 1910, if I remember correctly, that would be President William Howard Taft. Yeah,
Is
so I'm going to say William Howard Taft.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer?
It's incorrect.
Is it Theodore Roosevelt?
It's incorrect.
Oh.
It's Franklin Pierce.
Oh,
Yeah, go back to school.
darn.
You're already past the under. You're already past the line. You
Look,
already got
that's
the
the-
over.
that's
It was 1.5.
The Animaniac
mean
said he
cross
didn't
out.
have a chin. The Animaniac song said he didn't have a chin.
United States, Canada, Mexico,
Mexico,
Panama,
Panama,
Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Puerto Rico, Colombia, and El
Just keep
Salvador
going.
too, Guatemala,
everyone's loving
Bolivia.
this.
All right. I think we get cut off by Warner Brothers at some point. All right, so 2 out of 4 so far. Lucas,
Which president served 2 non-consecutive terms?
I've mentioned this earlier.
yeah, I was gonna say you've already said it.
But
But which president was it?
Let me go through the song. I know this. Benjamin Harrison was in between him.
Alabama,
Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut.
Benjamin Harrison was before him.
And after him.
That's a good point. Is
Grover Cleveland.
that your final answer?
Yes.
That's correct.
Wow, sombrero man.
Man,
I'm telling you, he's
Who's your
this
history
is savant,
teacher?
bro.
My
Who's
hi-
your history
I had a
teacher?
lot of good history teachers. One that comes to mind is Mike Bolin, my 6th grade.
Shout out Mike Boland.
Shout out 6th grade history teacher
Yes,
Mike Bolin.
Mike Bolin.
If you're tuned in right now,
Yeah.
that'd be a
Someone
really
ta-
weird coincidence.
Someone
but
tag him.
Let's
Someone
go.
tag him.
Mike Bolin.
Get him in here.
At
Miss-
Mike Bolin
Miss-
on Twitter.
Mr. Bolin.
This boy
Mr.
is going
Bolin.
off.
At your boy
if
Bolin.
you think this is impressive, you should hear Carlos talk about every building downtown.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Sounds
he knows
thrilling.
everything.
This building
This is-
came to New Mexico in the Gadsden Purchase.
the Crest building. It was
After an
first
abundance of precaution.
constructed.
Yeah, far be for me to correct the man who already got 3 of these correct at any
This is
point.
really
It's
good.
good batting average right
It's really
now.
good.
Yeah, you're batting 600.
Yeah, it's a good
that
batting
puts you squarely in the Hall of Fame. All right, number 6. Which president also served as a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
Oh, that one. That one is.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
You know, that one.
That is William Howard Taft.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
He's correct. My goodness.
Yeah.
4 out of 6.
That is William Howard Taft because he also that was his main goal in life was to be in the Supreme Court.
Chanel just roasted you.
Oh
She
goodness.
said 6th grade wasn't that long ago for him.
Again, shout out Mr. Bolin and Mr. Bill in
It's
8th
been a
grade.
long 5 years since I've seen you. Mr.
Also, I
Boland.
love this. Monica Tenorio. Shout out, Monica. She says, my nerd.
I love you,
it.
Mom.
Linnea Romero says Grover was a Sesame Street character. It's the best Sesame Street character, in my opinion. I love Grover.
Decent.
Um,
Grover Cleveland had a nice mustache.
There you go. Grover, the Sesame Street character, has a cute little pink nose.
Fun fact, that's what the school in Rio Rancho is named after.
Grover.
Cleveland.
Referred it to Paul Grover.
Carlos
Carlos
Grover Cleveland.
Carlos Moreno, father of Armando Moreno, says, Sombrero Man, to go for this. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Dave, we're playing for the draw now, bro.
For the draw? What do you mean for the draw?
He's already picked up 4.
The over-under was 1.5.
No, but I'm saying, like, at this point, like, the best we can hope is that he gets half of them wrong.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to read this one in the silly voice. Who's the only president to be born on July 4th?
There's been
Why'd you read that as Snuffleupagus?
There's been-
Sesame Street character.
There's been 3 presidents to die on July 4th.
What the hell? How do you know that?
2 coming on the
upset,
same
boy.
day.
No, I'm upset.
So-
why
so
do you know that?
John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the same day, on July 4th.
Wow, what a day.
And it was 50 years since signing the Declaration of Independence.
I don't know that we've ever had a
Um,
more educational episode.
I hate it.
It's tough.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness, he was one of the not younger presidents, one of the earlier presidents.
Makes me miss he more versus me more.
This is way better. Way better.
Oh goodness, Lucas, you got me here, but I know he's
Come
on. He's either 10 or under with the presidents. I don't think it's Martin Van Buren.
Are you going to give us
Yeah,
a
again,
final
yeah,
answer?
you-
I'm gonna say just to get over. I'm gonna say Van Buren.
The answer.
Got him.
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge.
Of
My
course.
sister did a project.
Of
on
course,
Calvin
RJ knew
Coolidge.
this.
Yeah.
He just wanted to let you have it.
Staying out of
I've
the
been
way.
doing this.
He's staying in his lane.
Calvin
He's
Coolidge.
clearing him out for the
All right,
ISO.
yeah, here we go.
All right. Brendan Kurds adds, don't forget Adams' last words were allegedly Thomas Jefferson
Jefferson will-
still survives.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson still survives, and Jefferson died before Adams. And the gentleman to relay the information to Adams came into the room 5 minutes after Adams died to tell him Jefferson.
Okay,
died
nerd, you
first.
don't get bonus points.
My goodness. All right, let's round this out. With the one that I think is probably the easiest of the 8. This was going to be. It's not a gimme. It's not easy, but I think it's the easiest of the 8. We're essentially the way I looked at it was Lucas made this game, but after, like this will be the one where they haven't gotten anything, and then they'll get one at the end, right?
Yeah.
So
That's exactly how I play.
Final answer.
got it. Well done. Which president introduced the Social Security program?
Out of
Oh,
all of them,
oh.
you're not going to get.
You got these really hard
Oh my
ones, Carlos.
I feel like that's an insult as a former low brass player. I don't know. I feel like that would be an FDR type of thing to do.
Okay.
Final answer.
Final answer, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Jeez, you got it right.
Yes,
let's
well
go.
done. Well done.
Took us to task.
Is that 6 out of 8, correct?
5 out of
5
8.
out of 8. My
But that's
goodness.
ridiculous.
That's again over 5. Hall of Fame right there.
Robert Romero knew it. FDR, man knows his history.
He also has
Love you,
Google.
Robert.
Robert's just Googling.
just to point it out, my phone
I'm
is
kidding, Robert. I love you.
my phone is sitting right here, and I think everyone can see it.
No, not you, Robert Romero.
No,
knew it.
but just
It's the
just-
accusation.
just to prove that I haven't been.
No, I
being-
think we're all sufficiently
And-
Yeah, we
confident
know
that
you're
you're a
there.
dork.
Yeah.
and the reactions are fantastic from behind the camera. It's great.
Black Diamonds in the chat. Definitely want to see a little trivia with SG panels. Would be a fun way to raise money for the Thomas Munoz Foundation.
Love
Chanel's
that.
already down. We
Great
may
idea.
have something very similar to that coming up pretty soon. This is High Voice. So yeah,
Right,
stay
some-
tuned for that. 100%. Robert Romero says, "I am history." And Chanel says, "Robert lived it all." Jeez, these people are coming.
like,
Yeah,
Woo!
she's coming for
My
people
boy,
in the chat
my
today.
boy. Woo.
All
I
right.
love
Well,
that.
before we wrap it up, I do want to give you guys a couple minutes. We do that for all of our guests to shout out whoever you want to shout out. We've been doing that since the Curse Cast days. It's a tradition that we've carried on. So, Carlos, since you, no offense, RJ, carried that match, you want to go first?
Yeah. To Mi Familia, I think they're all majority of them are tuned in. To
Way to get those stats
to
up.
great grandma Sombrero, who I know is listening up above, who I love her dearly.
Pretty sure they have Facebook in the afterlife.
No, she doesn't need it. She's probably somewhere here. And then also to all my friends over yonder that I made at UNM, that I'm going to go see in June, which I'm very excited. Going to go to the Netherlands.
Nice.
And as well, shout out to my fantastic curse board that I have, and
shout out
all
volunteers, all of them.
volunteers, and just fantastic. And Shout out to my doggos, Dawson and Winnie.
Nice.
Love
What's
those
up,
two.
Dawson?
Always
Winnie.
shout out the dogs.
And
Hope they're
and,
listening.
and my sister. I love you, Karen.
Oh, she's
Karen's the
wonderful.
best.
We love Karen. Karen's the best.
Yep.
My best friend.
RJ, please shout out your dog as well, Mr.
Yes,
Poops. Dr.
Dr.
Poops. I
Dr.
apologize.
Poops.
He went to dog medical school.
He's-
Mister.
He's a podiatrist.
That's right. That's right. Please, you have the floor,
So,
sir.
Dr. Poops. So yeah, shout out to the co ambassadors of
Yep.
the Galactic Ambassadors, and I really want to shout out Carlos. Since day one, you and I started the curse, David, and Andrew, and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But this weird kid came up to us, and then you offered.
You mean
him
the
beer.
35-year-old
Yeah,
man?
the guy with the
Who knows
thicker-
everything about the
the
president?
thickest mustache we've ever seen.
Your car's extended warranty has expired.
But it's great to see it kind of come to fruition that he is now the cursed president. He was passionate about New Mexico sports. He was there all the time. He did everything he could. He was just a kid and he was showing up as much as he could. I've never met anyone more passionate about New Mexico and New Mexico sports. Absolutely love this kid right here. And I can't wait to see the great things, not only with the curse, but what you do in life. So
Amen.
yeah, shout out to you.
Thank you,
kid.
RJ.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Don't make me cry.
I want to give one final shout out from my end, just to all of the supporters groups, whether you're in leadership, whether you're a member. Again, all volunteers, all dedicating their hearts, their time, again, often their money. I'm going to shout out every single one of them individually now. We're at the Curse.
Yes.
We got Black Diamonds.
Yes.
We got Cursitos. We
get
got
it.
La Maldición. We got Sector 114. We got Galactic Ambassadors. We got Set Piece Ultras. We got 7K Ultras. We got Sandionistas.
Beautiful group.
Love all those individuals. And you know what? There might be a couple other supporters groups I don't even know about. Let's talk about them. And I want to say, I encourage you, there are no prerequisites to join a supporters group. Nope. Just, I guess the one would be Love New Mexico. Yeah, that's it. Love New Mexico. And you will meet some incredible, amazing, caring people in that supporters culture. And you participate where you can. If you want to go help paint a tifo, do it. It's awesome. If you want to learn the chants on match day, do it. If you want to stand in the supporters section, do it. If you want to go sit somewhere else and teach somebody else a chant, hell yeah. Like there are so many ways to be a supporter, and there's not a wrong way to do it as long as you've got love in your heart for the state and these people.
That's exactly right.
And I just want to encourage you, as somebody who supporters culture means so much to me, and I know it does to everybody else in this room too. Check it out. Just try it. Just try it. There are no prerequisites. You don't have to buy membership if you don't want to. Just try it. Meet some wonderful people. Go to a tailgate. Enjoy a match. Yeah, that's all I got.
The first one's always free.
I would.
Are the secondary and tertiary ones not?
Yeah, they're not. No.
As
it's,
Nirvana once said, come as you are.
Come as you are. I love that. All right. We're going to wrap it up right there. Lucas, it's not you this time. It's my friend, Mr. RJ Montaño.
Yeah.
Until the next
Staying
episode,
out of the way.
RJ Montaño, Somos Unidos.
Somos unidos.
We are united.